Here's a look behind the scenes of making a YouTube video. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and every now and then I bring my Patreon members behind the scenes and I show them what my day looks like or how I organize a video or lots of different processes from behind the scenes over here on my side of the YouTube world. And so today, from the vault, I have chosen an older video that shows how I put together a YouTube video. What does it look like to edit? What does it look like to kind of go from start to finish on creating those videos? The From the Vault series is something I'm doing this summer to bring you some fresh content. These are former exclusive videos for my Patreon members, a little peek at what we do over on Patreon and the type of content that you can receive over there. If you want to find out more about Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/scrappywife. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this younger version of me talking about how I put together a YouTube video. All right, today I'm going to give you a little peek into the making of a video, how I do a video from start to finish, and that starts with planning. So I plan out all my videos. It's not just what I feel like doing that day. And generally I have them planned out at least a month in advance. So let's take a look. Let's just look at an example calendar. So this is the month of August. I always plan out my videos on the monthly calendar. I have a little bit of a formula, something that I do every week, a pattern that I follow, and it helps me kind of fill in the blanks. So the formula goes like this. It starts on Sunday. Sundays are always planner related videos. They're usually plan with me's. I plan out the different companies that I work with. Each of them gets a week during that month. And then usually the last weekend of the month is when I'm going to do the setup for the next month. So that's kind of how that falls in. That falls into place very easily. Mondays and Tuesdays are Patreon days, as you all know. So Mondays, I kind of do a rotation of different things in Patreon, usually not related to our focus that month, usually just general organization, creative videos, different things like that. And I just make a plan for what I want to do that month. Tuesdays are always our focus for the month. So this particular month, for August was our like quirky crafts or fun crafts. And so we had acrylic paint pouring, resin, cassettes, pressed florals, and making a junk journal. Those were really fun to do. And so that's how I kind of plan that out. Also on Tuesdays are usually faith-related videos. So Tuesdays on my YouTube channel will either be Bible journaling or faith journaling of some sort. So that's kind of a double video day. So that's the formula for the first half of the week. Then we get into Wednesdays. Wednesdays, generally, I like to do release things. Keleva Plan releases every other week. So usually I have things for her every other week. In between there, I share things from other companies, things I've picked up, just kind of filling in the blank. If I don't happen to have a release to share that week, that is an off day for me, which is nice because usually I'm pretty full during the month. Thursdays kind of get a little bit dicey. So Thursdays, I like to do art journaling and memory planning, but sometimes I have different haul videos that end up being released on Thursdays. Wrong generally releases on Thursdays, and I do a release video for her. So it shifts around, which is why I always write in pencil, because you can see things get all moved around. Fridays are organization and shopping videos. So I usually like to rotate through. Sometimes I don't have ideas for what I want to share or what I want to organize or where I want to shop. And so that's a little bit flexible. And then Saturdays are always custom planner spreads for you all. So that's how I kind of plan out the month. I have in my head what that pattern is going to be. I'm not married to that pattern. I can change it up if I want, or if I have a special idea, or there's a special release, or whatever the case is. It's adjustable, but that helps me kind of fill it in a little bit easier. And that way it's less overwhelming when I'm looking at a brand new month thinking, what am I possibly going to create? it's easier to fill in the plan. Then let's see, let's look over to where we are right now. This is an unfilled in week. This one's a little bit more filled in. This is what my typical weekly plan in my planner looks like, in my work planner. So I use the color block layout because most of my work is done during the weekdays, not as much done on the weekends. Mondays, I generally don't film on Mondays. Those are what I call Patreon days or business days. And you can see I just end up having a long to-do list of a ton of stuff. It's a ton of computer stuff. It's a ton of planning ahead stuff. I'm usually planning like a month ahead. So for instance, this was the week of October 16th. That was when I was creating all of the media and everything I needed for the month of November for Patreon. So that's kind of how that goes. It's kind of a month ahead, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ahead. Then I plan out what videos I'm going to do. Generally, I film Tuesdays through Fridays. When I film a video, I do it from start to finish in that day. It's just how I like to work. Some people like to do batch filming and then they edit after the fact and then they voice over after that. They do it in big batches. I like to finish a video in a day. It's always really important to me. It just, that way I don't lose what was going on in my head, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm afraid I won't remember what I was doing in the video when I'm doing the voiceover after the fact. You can see every day I kind of have plans for what's going on that particular day. I have Patreon tasks, filming and editing. Social media, I've not been great at staying on top of my social media interactions, so that's a goal for the coming year. Collabs, coaching, I'll have coaching meetings. Those don't always get filled in on here. And you can see I try to film somewhere between 8 to 10 videos a week. That allows me to get ahead in my schedule, which I think is really important because I'm the only person that runs my particular business. If something happens, like I get sick or a kid gets sick and I have to take a couple days or a week off, I like being ahead, having that built-in buffer so that I don't fall behind. So that's kind of how I like to work. That's what's going on in my planner. Here's my planner this week. I didn't do a very good job in filling it out, but I do have most of the things I'm planning to do, just haven't gotten everything filled in. So that's how it goes. You can see I already have plans for November. It's already filled in. I do have a few open places where things will get shifted, but it's working for me. So here's what's going to happen right now. I am actually filming another video for you all, and it's going to be about organizing some space in my craft studio. So we're going to get set up to film that video. I'm going to bring you guys along and show you some of the behind the scenes of how I film the video, how I edit the video, how the upload process works, all of that business. Let's do it. All right, so I'm getting set up for the video. What I'm going to be doing is reorganizing in 2 different spaces, but when I set up to video that, I have to figure out where everything is going to be. So I have my tripod that my phone attaches to that will probably be, when I start, probably be over here because I'm going to film handheld to start and show some different spaces and then film the organization process. Then I have lights. The lights I use, let me grab one and show you. This is one of the lights that I use. These are actually just clip-on lights for reading, like in your bed. And I love that they clip because I can move them around my room as needed. So for instance, as I'm filming for this next spot, I'm going to be filming a bookcase over here. I can clip this to a table and give myself a little bit extra light in that area so that I have a good shot. And these just plug into those charging banks that a lot of us have for our phones. I also generally use this microphone. My husband actually bought this microphone. I don't know what kind it is. I think Shure, S-H-U-R-E. He bought this during the pandemic when he was teaching music lessons over Zoom, just to get a better quality sound when he was playing for kids so that they could hear what their instrument was supposed to sound like. So I use this. It plugs directly into my phone, which is great. I'm not using it right now because I'm just talking to you guys over the regular phone, but this gives me a little bit better sound quality. And then of course I edit sound later on. And I think that is it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to film on my iPad for you all, and then I'm going to film on my phone for you all again, which is like making my brain hurt, but I'm filming another video for Patreon, and it's like a video within a video. Ooh, it's all creepy. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, and then I'll voice over and kind of tell you guys what I'm doing as I'm doing it. All right, let's go. When I am filming things, it certainly takes me longer to accomplish a task than it would if I were not filming things. So I really did need to organize and clean out and shift things around my room, and you guys will see that video soon. And I could have probably completed the whole task in 30 to 40 minutes, but because I was filming and having to move things around, you can see me filming intros showing the different areas that need to be organized. It just takes a little bit longer. I have to think about angles. I have to think about lighting. I have to do all of that stuff. And I'm not saying I'm super awesome at that. I'm definitely not a professional videographer or anything like that, but I do try to figure out what will look best. I try to provide some different angles, especially when I'm filming around my space or out in the open instead of just the overhead that I normally do. And it's a whole adventure. It does feel weird talking to myself for sure when I'm talking to the camera or things like that, but it's something I've gotten used to over time, and I definitely still enjoy the process. All right, so here's what's going to happen now. I am airdropping all of the videos and photos that I took while I was filming the last reorganization video, and I've put them on my computer, and then I will start the editing process. I'm going to bring you guys along and do a screenshot and voiceover so you can see how I edit, and I think we're going to go for it. Let's do it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is create a thumbnail. So we are going to go to Canva because that is where my thumbnails are. And I use the same format for my thumbnails, or at least I have for this particular year. So we will open up that and I just edit from there. I love Canva. It helps me do a lot with my business. So I'm a big proponent of it. So the first thing I need to do is upload files from the computer. Let's go to desktop. Let's find where these are. We're going to go to reorganizing my space. Here are the photos that I took. we're going to add those in because I will use them all eventually, but we just need one for now, and it's probably going to be this one right here. Let me just adjust this down up to about right there. That's good. Probably one of the most awkward parts of my job is that I have to take a bunch of selfies because that's what I use for my thumbnails. So once or twice a week, I just take a bunch of different selfies. Ta-da! We're gonna flip this one and edit and remove the background, and that's how I get it onto my page. It always just takes a second for that to work out. It's taking a little longer this time. All right, so that's good. We're going to apply that, and then I always add a little shadow to it because I like what that feels or what that looks like. We're going to do that here. Let's change the title, and let's do reorganize with me. And we're going to center this one like that, and I think it can be pretty big. That's probably, I think we can drag this out. Okay, let's maybe change the color. Ooh, that's pretty. I always just play around to see what I like. There's not necessarily a formula. Okay, I kind of dig that. Shifting my space. And then we're going to give this one a subtitle. Let's make it smaller so it all fits on one line. There. All right. There. Then we just download that to the computer. We will export it to the correct folder. I always have a folder for every video that has all of the raw things I need for that particular video. So let's go to reorganize, and let's title this one Reorganize. And now that is good to go. The next thing I want to do, I'm going to open up Final Cut and the editing. All right, so I used iMovie for a year and a half to edit photos or to edit videos, and it worked really well. Final Cut Pro is like an upgraded version of iMovie. I also very much like it, but it has a lot of power to it. A lot of things that I don't really mess with a whole lot, but that's okay. I like what I can do with it. Reorganizing my space. So I am starting a new event. It will automatically create a new project for me. You can see I have a different library for every week. My files are really big because I do so many videos, so I can't keep all of the raw footage or all of the data on my computer at all times. So I have to take it off each week and move it to an external hard drive. So let's go to reorganizing my space. Let's retitle this project. And now we need to dump in all of the footage that we have. So videos, pre-editing, reorganize my space. Oopsie, not what I meant to do. Okay, select all of this, import, and it's going to add it all in. The first thing I do is my intro video, and then I will add in, we're going to a different video here because I'm just going to copy and paste my little intro right there, copy, and then come back to reorganizing my space. We'll put this here. I'm just getting the basic bare bones. This obviously is not the right title. Sometimes you guys actually catch me putting in the wrong title. So we're going to go ahead and replace that with the new thumbnail. Ken Burns that. And then I can drop in the rest of the videos like so. Okay, so you can see it's over an hour, almost an hour and 8 minutes. Most people don't want to watch an hour and 8 minutes, so that is why I like to cut down my videos. And we start right here at the beginning. Even when I did the voiceover, I just clip off beginning and ends of videos. I also will go through and I brighten every video just a little bit over here to make it a little bit brighter. That's the tone I like. I'm going to remove the noise, voice isolation, and equalization. Let me just show you how they sound different. So here it is with no sound editing. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, bringing you all along as I reorganize some of my larger sticker books. All right, that was with no editing, but if we do noise removal, voice isolation, equalization, hopefully you guys can hear the difference. Whoa, hold on, give it a second. That was weird. Of my props for flat lay. There we go. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, bringing you all along as I reorganize some of my larger sticker books, some of my props for flat lays, and trying to get my craft. All right, so that was that. Now let's talk about, let me go through with the rest of these. So I'm going to, let's see. So on all of the ones I have speaking, we want to change the sound. And on every single video, we adjust the tones of it. And let's do that. Let's keep going. Let's just work our way through. It takes the computer a second to catch up. So you see it kind of adjusting. I would say on average, it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to, oh, I'm just checking some of this. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes to do the actual editing part. And then I have to do the voiceover. And that, of course, depends on however long the video is. It takes me that long to do the voiceover, if not a little bit longer, if I have to redo certain sections of it. So it's a process. A lot of people will just do the raw footage and do the voiceover as they go. That's just not my favorite way to do it. I think it takes a really long time to watch videos like that. So I like to change it up. All right. Now we're getting to one where there is no voiceover. All you can hear in the back is my television. So we actually don't need to do this. What we need to do is take the volume all the way down. All right, and then we're going to speed this up. We're going to go with 4 times as fast, and then we're going to start editing and see what that looks like. Okay, this is all me taking off stickers. So actually, we're going to do this. Let's see how long 8 times looks like. And then I don't really want my feet in that picture. So we're going to transform this. We're going to crop it a little bit differently so that it really focuses on the table. Let's make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So that'll be what's happening there. It goes over 8 times. 8 times as fast. Okay, then here's another one. Take the volume all the way down over here. We want to adjust the color. And 5. And then we want to, I think that's probably going to be 8 times as fast as well, as we put in all those books. And then this time, let's do the Ken Burns effect, where we kind of dig into where those sticker books are. So as it goes, you'll see it kind of zooming in to get the sticker books. All right, now it's more talking. So let me cut this off. Let me cut it off at the end as well. I positioned this camera a little funky, so I'm cut off. That's probably okay. We'll adjust as best we can. And let's change the sound. You can see it's a process. All of this is quite the process. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. Let's not cut me off more than we have to. Lovely stopping point. Okay. There's me talking. I'm talking about the bookcase. Okay. There we go. Now this is more editing. So we want no volume there. Let's adjust. Did I adjust this over here? I did. Let's adjust the lighting over here. It's a whole process. So I'm actually going to finish this up, put you guys on fast forward as I do this, and then I'll show you the voiceover. After all of the filming, the video editing is done, I drop in pictures at the end. So we're going to do that right here. We're going to change the duration of all the pictures to 5 seconds. I usually only do 5 pictures, so we're going to have to delete one. I think that one is a little bit repetitive. I think we will delete this one. And then I add the Ken Burns effect to all of these because I like it when it's moving. I think it looks cool. So that's what we're going to do to this. Then I need to add the ending. So I just go to another project, but I have the same ending each time. I have our members shout out that I update every Monday, and you will see all that updated. I'm usually a couple weeks ahead. So it sometimes takes a little bit to see your name come back up. Reorganizing my space. Let's put it over here. There we go. All the names. And ta-da! Okay, so the next thing I do after I have done all that editing is add in transitions. So that is over here. There's about 1,000,001 transitions. I like to use the same formula because I like for my videos to be predictable. So we're going to do circle right there. I usually do a circle or a cube when things are kind of changing, I don't know, perspectives, I guess. And then I use gradient when it's the same thing, but just same perspective, but just changing speeds or positions, or I've cut something out. I'm looking, oh, there it is. Sorry. All right, cube we'll do right here. Create transition. We will cube it. Oh, nope, I don't like that. That means I'm just got to cut a little bit of this out. Then we'll cube this transition and we'll gradient between all of these. And this just makes it so you can see it just is a little bit smoother when it's transitioning from piece to piece. Let's do a gradient right there. Gradient right here. I don't like that it made it super short, so we'll do here. Cut off a little bit of the edge. I actually don't know why it does that every now and then, but it does. Let's cube this one. Oops. Cube. Add that in. Okay, and then we're going to gradient next one. Gradient. You can see it's a process getting these all done up. But like I said, I want all my videos to be easy to watch and to kind of go quickly for those that are watching them. Because we don't always have, you know, an hour to watch an organization video. Every now and then I love videos like that, but for the most part, I'm someone that just wants to watch a quick video here and there and don't really have the whole hour. That one is messing up ever so slightly, so let's delete this. Let's add that. And then we will circle into this one. Circle again. And circle again. I know it's a lot of, it feels random. I have a plan, I promise. And then we chevron in between all of the photos. So that is all of the bare bones of, not the bare bones, that's more than the bare bones. There's some meat in these bones. That's the basic editing. Then I do the voiceover. Let's do that next. Sometimes I get quite animated as I'm doing voiceover work. Sometimes I mess up and do funny stuff and have to delete. I just do my best to talk as if someone were here, which means a lot of talking with my hands. I'm talking to the screen as if I were talking to you in real life. And so it kind of changes. Sometimes I mess up my words. Sometimes I get lost on where I am. You can see I'm just not very still most of the time. So it takes me a little bit. I often will stop and think and look ahead so I know what's coming up so that I don't have any breaks or pauses or weird times where I say too often. I know it still happens. None of us are perfect, but voicing over is something I've gotten better at, and it's something that has helped me in my other job that I do from time to time, which is judging marching band and color guard, because I have to do tapes and talk in person, like over the tape, and give comments back. I think doing voiceovers for YouTube has actually helped me create better tapes for the groups that I judge, which I think is kind of a funny and random side effect. Done. Next step, taking it to YouTube. So I log in and we are going to upload the new video. It's working its magic. It's thinking. Anyone else's kids mess up their YouTube choices? My kids watch on my account and they kind of mess with what YouTube recommends to me. All right, so let's put this video in. It is going to start uploading. This starts the second half of the process. So what I have to do here is enter in all of the information. I do the title, all of that business. I will upload the thumbnail that we created earlier. Let's find that. I always like to do that first so I don't forget what video I am working on and typing about. Basically, I go through this whole process. Let me fill in a little bit about the title, and then I'll take you through what the whole process looks like. All right, next up, you set the monetization settings on. location of where the ads are. If I don't click these, YouTube can add them anyway. So it's a fun little thing they do, earning their own money. Nothing controversial in this video. Submit my rating. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then I will add the end screen. I use the same end screen, so I will just import it from another video. Putting that in. That's still checking as it uploads. All of that is fine. And then I'm going to put this one as unlisted. And we'll let that continue to render, and then I'll show you some of the next steps that I have to go through. All right, so next up, once the video is all uploaded to YouTube, I schedule it for Patreon. I'm not going to show you guys that right now, but the next thing I would do is create social media for every video. So that is generally over on Canva, and I would create an Instagram story first. That's usually where I start out at. Because it's an exclusive video for Patreon, I generally follow a template for that. So we're going to go with a new video design. And I would just pick one of these that I like. We're going to go with this one. Upload. We're going to upload the thumbnail again. Reorganize my space. We can add this in right here. Delete that. Yep, that works. I'm going to change some of the colors around on this. Nope. Yes. Let's change this to purple. I like it. Change this to black. Let me adjust. And obviously I'm going to change some of the wording on this one. This one we want to be purple as well. And I'm going to change this to say exclusive video. Adjusting my creative space for my changing needs. Join today. All right, so that'll be that. I will change this to 10 seconds. That's how long I want the video to be. Download, download, yes. Okay. Once that's downloaded, then I'll show you how I like to schedule my media on another app that I use, which is called Later. Later is how I manage social media so that I don't have to remember what to post when. So I will continue into here, and it can be a lot figuring out what has to go where and when and getting everything scheduled. So I'm going to upload my media. Let's go to downloads. This is what we're doing. This video that I am working on will go live, I believe, on the 13th. So we're going to drop this in right here. I can save a link with it so that I can add it to the story. Normally that would be a YouTube link, but since this is a Patreon exclusive video, then we're going to save that, save the story, and there. Then I will go over to Facebook. I'm going to upload media again. We're going to go to that same thumbnail so I can post about it on my Facebook, not in the Patreon Facebook group, but my Facebook page for the Scrappy Wife. We just have to let that upload, and then I can drag and drop it. This is just a great way for me to make sure I have the media organized how I want to, and then it's ready to go, and it will sometimes send me a reminder to post it. Sometimes it posts it automatically depending on how I've set it up. All right, so that is how I create a video from start to finish with media and all of that business. In the midst of creating that video, I was filming this video. I was working with my new website and the website developer to try to get it up and running. I was figuring out shipping rates. There were a million things that jumped in, but I'm pretty good at my video process, so I can jump out of the process and jump into the process and kind of continue to make it roll throughout the day, because there's a lot of other stuff that comes up with the way things run in this business. So it's been a little bit of a crazy day. I'm going to get ready for a coaching meeting right now. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little insight into how I create a video. I know several of you have started to create videos on YouTube, so maybe it helped inspire you or give you a little bit more background into what I do on a daily basis. Thank you so much for being the amazing people that you are. I appreciate you each and every day. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.